I already told you it was very dangerous to discuss the Swiss military-industrial complex, which I did in a series 10 days ago, to show you all how powerful and infiltrated they are everywhere. Well, only 10 days later I got this letter here saying I have to go to prison on November the 10th for 20 days. For telling about Switzerland in my videos and for expressing my opinion about the Swiss lies, crimes and terror on me and my family. Normally I don't even up their terror mail, as you can see here. Most of them, they are not opened up. So I don't open up their terror mail anymore, because after 17 long years of Swiss terror I just can't get my mind around it anymore. My mind totally blocks it out, and even if I try and read it, it just doesn't enter my senses. I can read it 10 times and it doesn't get in, you know. It has me totally traumatized, as 17 years of total Swiss Nazi terror is just too long to bear for a human being, especially if you haven't done anything wrong, and everything based upon Swiss lies and Swiss hatred. And 17 long years of Swiss terror has preoccupied my mind day and night, filling every aspect of my daily life with plain Swiss Nazi terror. Can you imagine? But this time it said Vollzug, meaning prison, on the outside. So I had Gabriel from Spain read it for me. The Swiss are the most wicked people on earth, and they really believe in their crimes against humanity. Most crimes people do are out of poverty, heartbreak or human misery. But not these Swiss. They're out to hurt other people, just because they feel so, or because they don't agree with someone else's opinion, or out of a different racial features. It's the same with their lies. There are many different sorts of lies. People lie out of fear, to avoid punishment, to gain material wealth in business, or to show off out of false pride. But rarely people lie to hurt others and even believe in it, and therefore being able to execute their evil in such a refined and organized way under the cover of clean Swiss neutrality. And this sort of lie is the very case in Switzerland, and one of the differences they inhibit in comparison with the rest of us and the rest of humanity. Oh, here it is. I just tried to document it. Complete Swiss lies, you know, it's complete terror. I haven't been out for 3.5 years. I never go out. So they can't grab me, so they're doing it this way, you know. So I have to pay 1,300 Swiss francs, otherwise I go to prison for 20 days. Strafmaß, 20 days. For nothing. I didn't do anything. I get aggressed by a cop, and then I try to ask help on YouTube and document it. But oh, Swissy doesn't like that, you know. They hide everything under the carpet. So this is real serious. They are evil people, very bad, extremely evil. They have been doing this for 17 long years. Every day and night for 17 years. You know, they've been doing this. I've been living under their terror. So please try to copy my videos, and so we all know what this place is about. So, you know, they try to censor my videos, and that's what it is about. And it's only 10 days ago that I made that video on about the Swiss industrial military complex. And how this, you know, they're very, very powerful. In this country, it's all about money and power. A man or a person is not equal on the law. If you're rich, you know, you can do everything here. So you can see, this is on September 3rd, or September 22nd, it says here. Mr. Dellenbach. Swiss criminals. Most wicked people on earth. So I'll show you again. It says Monday, November the 10th, 2014. I have to go in. This is the torture prison. Regionalgefängnis Bern, Amthaus. This is where they already tortured me. I'm not a criminal. I've never done anything in my life. I'm not a criminal. Do you hear me, Swissy? I'm not a criminal, but you are. And I've proved it in my videos that you are a bunch of criminals, Swissy. Yeah, this is from a lawyer who doesn't do anything. So they sort of pretend to be a civil place, like, you know. And this is what I should have done, you know. It's about, here it says, it's about my YouTube videos. Yeah. On YouTube. Hatzefratz, Gure. This is what they don't want. And because of my videos, I go to prison. First I get aggressed and hit, and a cop who lies something together, and if I dare to talk about it, I go to prison. Here it says, Strafbefehl, Nazi Switzerland. You see, with a number, September the 17th, it's going on now. What can I do? And this is going on, folks, this is going on for 17 years. So, don't lose my videos, copy them, distribute them, download them, burn them in DVDs, don't make them get lost, because I'm onto something here about the Ku Klux Klan. They don't want me to, from Switzerland, they don't want me to say this, you know. That's why I go to prison. Yeah, just punch pause. This is the nearest I get. You just have to, you know, take it all, you know, and have yourself terrorized by the homies here. And don't open your mouth. That's all I did. I let myself hit by the cop. I only open my mouth. I say it's not good that you lie. Here's some more on the other side. This is side number 2. Here it says, so I have to pay. The cop 2 months later, he got killed because he was so dangerous and so aggressive. He got killed in self-defense by another Swiss person. And now me, the foreigner, they want to make me responsible for it. And I have to pay 7,000 Swiss francs, 7,400. Because the foreigner is always responsible in Switzerland for everything. Even if a Swiss did it, you know, this is Switzerland, you see. It's always the foreigner responsible for everything. And the guy who shot the cop, well, they murdered him in prison. There was Roger Funkhauser. They murdered him just before his appeal case. And they don't want any appeal cases here, then it gets very dangerous. So they want me, the foreigner, the immigrant, to make me responsible for the death of her husband, you say? Regula Kuni, that's the woman. And the children. I'm responsible for the death of the cop, you see, because I'm a foreigner. That's how it is in Switzerland, you know. And these people are so full of hatred, you know, they don't care a lot, you know, about it, that my family and my small young children are being terrorized by them. They only think like, oh, we, the poor Swiss, you know, we are so poor and so neutral and so clean, you know. They only think about money and about themselves, and the foreigner has to go to prison. And this lawyer does not do a damn thing. The Swiss are beyond doubt the most wicked people on earth, and they've always gotten away with it so far, so they know they can do what they want, as the Swiss Templars give the orders anyway to their worldwide web of Freemasons of Swiss descent all over the world in all key positions. In fact, we should put warning shields around Switzerland at all border passages saying, "You're leaving international law's area. Here we don't abide any human law." So people won't fall for their clean neutrality trap in disguise of this dictatorship wrapped in nice milk chocolate. Yes, Switzerland is a dictatorship wrapped in nice milk chocolate. So in these 20 days prison for expressing my opinion, they will force me to delete my videos. They will constantly interrogate me, threaten me and finally kill me, as the Swiss Nazi police and the fascist judiciary have already announced. I know those Swiss prisons, how they shout, swear, threaten and provoke you without end, letting loose their inhibited natural-born Swiss aggressions when they can and when they're allowed to. Just like in the Second World War with the concentration camps. So please, don't let my efforts be in vain and you all copy, save, download and burn my videos on DVDs. Out of my pain, I served you a face and a name of the real tormentors of mankind. So this is it. This is the end. And I wish you all the best. What can I do? I feel old and broken and I cannot run because I have no passport. I cannot fight because I'm alone and I have a family and children. I can just be dragged to the slaughterhouse like a Jew being exterminated. And there's nothing you can do about it. Let my videos be my ultimate revenge on this Swiss Nazi people. I will curse them. I curse them every single day. For 1,300 Swiss francs I could buy myself out of prison, but they know I have no money at all and no income. And even if somebody would pay for me, I'd refuse categorically. I showed you the list of people who got murdered and suicided in Swiss prisons, like they did with Austrian Wolfgang Umvogel, who got suicided for selling CDs about tax fraud, and even his money got confiscated and stolen by the Swiss Nazi authorities. Oh, they love money in Octagon. Money über alles. The sound of money. So first they murdered this man. In 2 weeks' time he wanted to sell banking CDs to Germany, France and the United States because of tax evasion. And the Swiss Secret Service, the SSS, they caught him, and in only 2 weeks' time he got suicided. And then I wrote this article. I videotaped it. I put it on YouTube in my channel. So I contacted the biggest Austrian newspaper, and they also said that the man got suicided, and they wrote his name in it. So they sent me an anti-terrorist squad. So now that was just a few months ago. They even stole his money. 2.5 million euros that the German authorities they paid out to Wolfgang Umvogel. And they just stole it. You know, the Swiss steal everything. That's the sound of money. It's not the sound of music. There's no music here. So, sort of, I got implicated in this affair because I helped writing an article in a foreign newspaper. And then it gets very dangerous, you know, with these Swiss assassins. Oh yes, they're gonna do me. They promised me to kill me. And I have witnesses that don't even listen to it, and they will do it. So I guess my time is up, eh? This video here shows Hans Rudolf Kühne, who in 2011 aggressed me and under orders lied things together to get me, a foreigner and an immigrant, into prison. So I videotaped the corrupt cop to save the evidence, and the Swiss absolutely want me to take the evidence off the internet, for which they also will put me in prison. And after user Marino Delfino here analyzed the video, it came out the dirty cop had black alien eyes and a UFO backup hovering overhead. So it's obvious that my lens caught something too much, which they want to hide from the public. So they used the Swiss Nazi Justice Department to blackmail me in a highly criminal way, and for which I now go to prison for, where they will have total control over me for 20 days and will most likely lie some more things together, as this bloke here did, while I'm inside, like to send me into a psychiatrical ward for the rest of my days. And they already tried that. Just as Swiss cop Hans Rudolf Kühne was a damn corrupt liar. Thank God he's dead now, because someone shot the evil cop dead 2 months after. So here you can see this thing hovering above our head. I don't know what it is. I didn't see it at the moment, but my lens caught it. The guy, he had absolutely dark eyes. So this is the very first video on my channel Gatsenfrats, or the second, where you can see the original footage. He has black eyes. This is no Photoshop or anything. We don't do these sort of things. You know, these guys, they Photoshop and you know, here's my wife actually. She was a witness, and so were my children. And the Swiss are a bunch of wicked liars. They lie against humanity, and they just lie things together to put an immigrant in prison. And they're so cold and heartless, and so organized, and so incredibly organized, you know. There really is an alien agenda here, and we can see it, and they want to cover this up, and this is why I have to go to prison. So this is on Marino Delfino. Go and have a look at it. He's a very good guy. He's from England, and he did a very good job here. I'm very glad to know him, Marino Delfino. Good man. The last 3.5 years I haven't gone out of the house in Switzerland alone anymore, which has taken a very bad impact on my health. Sometimes I didn't go out like for 2 months. And so they couldn't really get me during this time. So now they just sentence me to prison because of nothing, in order to get me where they want me to. So here you can see the evil cop again with the black eyes. And go and have a look at the first video on my channel. He really has these black eyes, and there's really a weird thing hovering over, which you can also see in the newspaper article about this, what happened. The Swiss are the most wicked people I know. They are behind the Second World War and the First World War, behind everything, believe me, and the banking chaos and everything. They did it. So everyone copy the video of the corrupt, aggressive alien cop, also the one of Marino Delfino and my first one, and copy my other videos. Don't, you know, see to it they don't get lost, and maybe somebody can help my wife and children, because there's important evidence on it, the video with the cop. These Swiss are not really human, and a menace to humanity. And here the images show that evil cop with black alien eyes with a UFO above, and Swissy using that 50 francs reptilian money, as you can see here. I have about 1 month left maybe, and funny enough, November the 10th is the end of World War I, now celebrated, well, the beginning 100 years ago. The next day, on the 11th, is the armistice, as these guys are into numbers and occult rituals, you know, where they celebrate the death of 9 million soldiers and the Spanish flu coming afterwards with another 50 million dead before going for the final kill. I'll try to make some more videos before the deadline, and if not, don't forget me and make it known what these wicked Swissies did.
I'm Regina Loy. I'm the wife from Hross and mother for our children. I'm working as a nurse and a naturopath. I just try to tell you in a few words how my experience are during the time where I live with Sean. My husband is a nice, lovely person. He tried to give the world answers how the things turns how they do. But with this try he became a lot of stones and rocks of his way. These rocks and stones makes him difficult to live how he feel too. The situation now is really heavy for all of us in this family. The situation with the policemen for more than 3 years have found now the top. They needed all this time for change to find how they can change the lie into one of the thousands of laws. But one thing have never changed, it is a lie. My man is not a criminal person, I know it, because I would never stay with him such a long time if it would be another way around. All in this past time, the association done a lot with much energy to put him out, but what have they done for helping, for finding his place in this association? We would like just to live together as a family, because we need him. Okay?
Yeah, you said they started to terrorize me because of the... what can you tell it by yourself now? You said you would?
It's just at the point on this time for more than 3 years where the policeman arrested us. He was more than half an hour in his car.
So that was on April the 8th, 2011, 11 hours and 40 minutes, so about 11:30 in the morning, in Burgdorf.
Yeah. He stays a long time in his car, and when he came out, he would be changed. He tried to take your camera away. He changed to be aggressive, and he tried to hit you, and all because nothing, because you was really kind before. You say hello to the police officer, you shake him the hand, and so on, and he just he just changed because maybe he became his order, how they have to do after he came out of his car. Yeah, he hit you.
Did he lie?
Yeah, he lied because he told after that you would be aggressive and so on, but the other way around was the reason. He would be aggressive, not you.
So at the moment when you were there, did he lie too? I mean, he said you're going to have a complaint for threatening me. Is that a lie? Did he lie? I mean, wasn't it the other way around? He threatened me?
Yeah, sure. Because you was friendly, you was correct.
So he pushed me, he hit me, and what did I do?
Yeah. You say hello and you shake him.
I didn't do anything,
no.
didn't I?
No. That's why...
I didn't defend myself. I had to have myself hit by this aggressive cops there.
That's why I told you they need more than 3 years to change a lie, or to try to change a lie.
So that was Hans Rudolf Kühni, and the other one was Erika Kunz.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said that They're doing this because I'm telling the world about on YouTube about things, but that's only the last 4 years I've been on YouTube, and actually I've been on YouTube because of this Swiss terror. I started to think, and I'm asking for help, but there is no help. You get only more terror if you open up your mouth, and that's why I started it. So we have been together for 15 years, so that leaves open another 11 years. Did they terrorize me in this time? Did they put me in prison?
They don't help you, they put you out wherever they can.
Yeah, so the reason is not that I do my YouTube videos, they already did it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so the policemen, they are liars.
Yeah.
They just lied. You were there, you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think, so you already told me, they're doing this to put me as an immigrant, to put me away in prison. Yeah. Are they terrorizing your whole family? I mean, do you need me here?
Yeah, that's why I thought we need you to stay, that you can stay with us, because when I'm working you look after the little child, and that's really, yeah. You have to stay here because you are part of us. You're part of this family.
So they're not just terrorizing me, but they're terrorizing the whole family.
No, because I see how you have to live, how you feel and so on. That's why they terrorize the whole family, yeah?
No. Can I just go outside and walk around and go and play some soccer with the boys, or?
No, you have... that's... I think it's not possible at the moment.
Yeah, so I've been like a prisoner here for 3.5 years then. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say here?
No.
You want to ask for help because the system here in Switzerland doesn't work apparently. So we got only YouTube left, you know, and the transparency. You want to ask for help for somebody else because here they're a bunch of liars.
If it gives helps, it's, yeah, would be a really emergency, yeah?
So this is my son, he's almost, my younger son, he's almost 13 years old. Can you tell me what your name is?
Rivan,
And how old are you?
12 years.
Do you understand English?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's having English in school. So you remember on April the 8th, 2011 at 11 hours and 40 minutes, so 11:30 roughly, in Bergdorf. Did the policeman, did he hit me?
Yes.
Was he aggressive?
Yes.
Did you see him going into his car and going on and being on the telephone for about half an hour?
Yes.
Do you have still any confidence in the police? No, wait a minute. It's maybe a bit complicated. Yeah, so do you still have any confidence in the Swiss police?
No.
Do you want to ask for help here to the international community so the Swiss terror will stop?
Yes.
Okay. Well, his English he's just learning, so. So this is my eldest son here, the one I can still see. He's living with us. He's 14 years old and a half. He's more than 6 feet tall. Wow. His name is, what is your name?
Killian.
Okay, that's a Celtic name. How old are you?
14 years old.
Yeah, and a half.
Yeah. No.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What happened on the day? How can you remember that the day, like 3.5 years ago, on April the 8th, 2011, at about 11:30 in the morning, with the two policemen? Did they hit me, or
Yes.
did the one hit me there?
Yeah, they do.
Was he aggressive?
Very.
How did I behave? Did I say Z? Was I polite to him?
Yes, that's true.
Did I shake his hands?
Yeah, also.
Then he went into the car. What did he do in the car?
They call and become his work, yeah.
Yeah, so he was on the telephone in the car.
Exactly.
How long was he in the car? How long?
40 minutes,
Could be
maybe, yeah.
half an hour, 40 minutes. Yeah. And all this time, what did we have to do? Or what did you know?
Wait in the car.
Yeah. Was it hot?
Very.
Yeah. And was mommy pregnant? Was she having the baby?
Yeah,
Yeah. And the police, they didn't care about this?
yeah. It's difficult.
Yeah. So this was the policeman, a very aggressive and dangerous lying cop. His name was Hans Rudolf Kühni. It's thank God he's dead, so he can't hurt any more people. And the other one was Erika Kunz. And this one should be in prison. So did the policeman, did he lie, or did?
Very. Lie, any lie.
Yeah. Later on, we got arrested for nothing another time. When was that? At the petrol station.
28th of December, 2011. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Were they aggressive as well?
Yeah, aggressive.
Did they have? What were they showing? What were they carrying?
They want semi identificate, and they walk around with a picture of my father.
Yeah. You see, I'm not a criminal. Just for political reasons, they want to hang on something to me. And they're walking around with my picture, you know, the drug dealers, the Swiss banksters, they don't do anything, and the Swiss child molesters, but you know, for political reasons, Swissy, he's walking around with my picture. So I decided not to go out anymore, you know. Well, they were aggressive, you know, like, you know, I had to take all my, but not as aggressive as Hans Rudolf Kühni, who was hitting me and all this. But anyway, they tried to provoke me, and they say like, are you on drugs or something, you know? Well, I never used any drugs in my life, and they know it very well, you know? Before the torture, I never even drank any alcohol. Yeah. So, do you still have any confidence in the police?
No, not more.
No? Why?
They are lie.
Mm-hmm. And they are, aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all your life, you're now 14 years and a half, you lived under this Swiss terror, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. So we cannot go out and play some soccer, you know.
Yeah.
How do you feel this? How do you live with this?
It's difficult. Yeah.
Stress. Huh?
Stress.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's difficult because you got the braces. Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really.
And English is not your native language. Eh?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing fine. Do you want to ask for help? Somebody helps, you know, because the Swiss system doesn't work. Well, it works, but you know, not honestly. It works for them. But do you want to ask help on YouTube if somebody help, you know, stop this terror?
Yeah. Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
Okay.
this terror.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is Alvina. It's my daughter. She's 2.5 years old. Well, she's going to be 3 soon. Alvina, hello. And well, you hear all the noise there. There's construction all over. There's construction. Oh. There's a construction. You can hear them. Sometimes it's so bad, you know, we can't even go out. There's a crane here. They're working on the house there. Up here. And there's a big construction site here behind. I'll show it to you. So sometimes, you know, we cannot even go out at all because it's just too noisy. And because of the Swiss police terror, we are not allowed to go and have a little walk, because the police will come immediately, as they have already done. Like last year, I think it was November the 28th, that was the first time in many years that I went out, and immediately the police came with their guns and everything. They just forced themselves into the house. So I put this here so they can't, you know, like storm in with their cars and endanger my little girl here, and with their guns drawn, and put some guns on my head as I already done before, just based upon lies, no reason at all. So we're living like, you know, this is like World War II, you know, she's like little Anne Frank, little Anne Frank in Switzerland. And Nazism in Switzerland, oh man, it's blossoming here. Yes, it is. They're building 3 concentration camps. And if you open up your mouth about it, they send an anti-terrorist squad. I don't know where the anti is, actually. It's just a terrorist squad, a plain terrorist squad. They've done it to me in 2011. Since then, it's almost 4 years. I've been under house arrest, you know, because they just lie things together, you know, for the criminal, to lie the criminal statistic on immigrants and foreigners like myself, you know, up in the air, so they can achieve more laws in Parliament. Actually, the word Parliament is French, parlement, and that means parler, that means to talk. Ment is for mentir, and that means to lie. A parliament is talk and lie, and especially in Switzerland it's the case. You know, damn liar politicians. So that's my little Anne Frank, my little girl Alvina, which is a Germanic name, which means the friend of the elves. My 2 boys have Celtic names, Kilian and Riwan. Well, they have been living their whole lives under Swiss Nazi terror. They're quite fed up with it. They know how the Swiss police, how they're a bunch of liars and crooks, aggressive, and they will start opening up their mouth about it. And they tell the truth. And as I put in my last film on Gure, Auschwitz made in Switzerland, they got their dirty little fingers in everything, you know, under that Swiss neutrality swindle smile. So you can hear, you know, what a noise it is here. So me and my little girl Anne Frank, you know, sometimes we can't even go outside at all, due to the Swiss Nazi terror. I would go out and have a stroll, but then the neighbors will call the police, as they do, and Then they come with all their violence and try to lie something together, you know, to put the immigrant in prison. Alvina? Hallo? Today, October 25th, 2014, it was even in the Swiss newspapers that Swissy wants to completely abolish international rights and human rights, precisely in conjunction with the 3 Swiss concentration camps they have built, simultaneously with Swiss Nazi Ebola at the same time, Swiss banks financing the Islamic State in Wahhabi Qatar, and actually occupying all key positions in the USA by their Swiss Octagon Police Blue Army gunning down Americans with Swiss Sieg Sauer weapons. This will open all doors for Swissy to officially torture and kill immigrants in the newly built concentration camps and apply the sheriff's law only, a thing they've been doing already in their typical sly Swiss hiding modus. So here's the newspaper's witness account on how the Swiss are trying to legalize their crimes against humanity, which until now they just hid while smiling like some serial killer. And it's a shame to be driven by terror to the internet's transparency and ask for help by presenting oneself and family like in a shop window, because the system of Switzerland works like a corrupt fascist mafia. And due to the very high rate of innocent people getting suicided in the Swiss prisons, I would like to state one more time that I have no suicidal thoughts, no depressions, no intentions to aggress or hurt anyone else, that I take no drugs, pills or medications, and never have, and have no need for any psychiatry on Swiss Nazi orders. I have about 1 month left maybe, and funny enough, November the 10th is the end of World War I, now celebrated, well, the beginning 100 years ago. The next day, on the 11th, is the armistice, as these guys are into numbers and occult rituals, you know, where they celebrate the death of 9 million soldiers and the Spanish flu coming afterwards with another 50 million dead, before going for the final kill. I'll try to make some more videos before the deadline, and if not, don't forget me and make it known what these wicked Swissies did. So this here is just another warning of these Swiss terrorists, and as the arrest of the anti-terrorist squad was, and they did even worse things, they did, the Swiss. It's really murder incorporated. It is a warning. And the murder threats I'm receiving of the Swiss police and the Swiss Justice Department. What will happen next? So together with the cat, what they chopped off his leg. Here was another warning they gave me last year. This was from the biggest Swiss newspaper, the article about how they arrested me with an anti-terrorist squad. They put 3 guns on my head. They put a bandage over my head, as in a rendition of the CIA like. There were armed men all over the place, shouts, threats, handcuffs, foot cuffs. And later on they threatened I got murder threats, you know, so that I shouldn't talk about Switzerland on the internet. So And they did far more worse, which I'm gonna tell you about in the next vid. I don't know what they're gonna do next, but they apparently gonna make true their threats and trying to do what they said. Well, this is Switzerland. For no reason at all. There was a cop who hit me for no reason at all. So I put them on the internet and then they sent an anti-terrorist squad. That's what they did. There was a warning. You can read all about it here. This was in the biggest Swiss newspaper. Okay. Yeah. The Octagon in Octagon. In Bern, Switzerland. The home of the devil. The base of the Nazis.
Hey, das gehört das unten.
Du mich nicht weiter belästigen, geht
Aber
jetzt?
er jagt mich vor, sagt,
Geht
soll
jetzt?
abhauen und... Ja, also.
Du soll meine Frau
Ja,
anrufen.
ich kann hier warten auf euch. Er ist jetzt schon mit der Videokamera, wo ich kann.
So, alle fort jetzt?
Nein,
Ja, fort.
gut. Gut. Merci vielmals. Also der Hauseigentümer
Ja, geht.
kommt hierher.
Ja, ist gut, geht jetzt.
Ja, das gehört ja nicht in Ärger.
Ja, ja, verschwind. Verschwind jetzt. Alle Schweizer weg. Hopp.
Ja, alle Schweizer weg.
Was willst du noch sagen? Was willst du sagen? Hä? Was willst du noch sagen?
Gar nicht, das ist alles
Ja, gar nicht
Sag es denn.
sind alle Schweizer weg, habe
Ja,
ich gesagt.
verschwind jetzt.
Gleichfalls. Das ist gut, ja.
Was bin ich, was mache ich?
Sie sind nicht als Mieter hier.
Ja, und?
Ja.
Und weiter?
Und wenn Sie Probleme machen, fliegen Sie.
Ich mache keine Probleme.
Mal.
Es sind hier 3 kleine Kinder und er wird hier nicht gefeilt und geschweißt. Haben Sie es verstanden?
Die Kinder müssen
Die
ja
haben
nicht
Ferien.
rauskommen.
Die können aus der Tür.
Also-
Das ist die Haustür.
Ich
Sie meinen, unsere Kinder dürfen nicht raus.
mach jetzt das weg.
So this is the guy.
Hier mit seiner scheiß Kamera.
So he
da.
just hit me and they are hoping I will hit them back, but I won't. Because
Nein, der hat noch einen Flick vor.
the Swiss always right.
Ist
Then
noch
they
mit
come with the
nacktem
police
Oberkörper steht er da
and then
aus.
they say the foreigner was aggressive. Well, you just all saw that I'm not aggressive. And he starts swearing. He started to swear himself, to force himself inside the door, and he's telling us we cannot come out of the door.
Von dem, und er könnte.
Look, and this is his car. This is his car number.
Hat er nicht.
This is Switzerland. Look at them.
Ja, nein.
They're hoping I will hit them back, but I won't. I won't. There's another one. Look, they're getting organized.
Ja,
Look at it.
der gehört scheinbar zu euch.
Look.
Aber das brauche ich
Everywhere.
also nicht hier. Die schauen, dass der da hinten nie mehr rauskommt, wenn jemand hier
Everywhere.
ist.
Look at it.
Und sonst hat er ein Problem.
He's threatening with problems. Did you hear this?
Was er sagt.
Look at it. Well, I better go in.
Also ist gut.
Well, I've got you on camera, mate. You're on camera. So in Switzerland, they just come and ring at the door and they just hit you one. I didn't even go out of the door. And if you hit them back, they call up the police, you know? They just call up the police. They're very organized. So I must just accept it. And another aggression, and another one, and another one, and another one. Going on for 16 years, you know? So now the cops probably coming. Because I didn't do anything. In Octagon, Switzerland, tens of thousands of asylum seekers have disappeared and vanished into thin air. And only in the year 2012, 3,000 vanished. seeing the reality and Switzerland collaboration with the Nazis and even financing the Nazis and giving them Red Cross passports to escape through the red line to Argentina and Spain, it must be assumed that the Swiss murdered all these refugees and burned their bodies as in Auschwitz. Or does anyone think that thousands of refugees just left Switzerland after having paid enormous sums for their dangerous and long voyage into the promised land? No, not really, did they now? And in Switzerland it is impossible for an immigrant to hide or stay low, because the Swiss survey all immigrants, call up the police all the time, and where you can't live anonymously, as in Paris for instance. So these guys are definitely not in Switzerland anymore, or at least not alive. With all those incessant ID controls on immigrants by the Swiss Nazi police, and Swiss neighbours keep an eye on everything what's going on. I already gave you the proofs of how the Swiss are building 3 large concentration camps. They show all immigrants like in the streets with as all sort of animals, and of tortured detention centres in Switzerland where many immigrants were murdered, and how the Swiss Nazi police lies to put immigrants in prison upon orders by the Swiss Nazi Justice Department. The police arrest you for nothing, takes you in the car, and then people just disappear. This happened to tens of thousands, and they tried it with me too. So this was in the newspaper yesterday, August the 19th, in this newspaper here. As you can read here, August 19th, 2013. And here you can read the whole story if you like. And if you don't understand German, just look at the numbers of how many people just disappeared in a country where nobody can disappear. And certainly not tens of thousands. They know everything, they control everything here. The neighbours, the authorities, everything. It's unbelievable. Yesterday, on August 19th, 2013, several Swiss ran over an Egyptian refugee on the Swiss motorway, where they're doing 130 kilometers an hour. The man probably ran for his life trying to get away from abduction by a Swiss murder squad from Octagon. The young man died, of course, and the Swissie keep silent and pretend to know nothing, as usual. I mean, you don't run on a high-speed motorway in the dark unless you have to, because you're very frightened of something and someone chasing you. Octagon and the Swissie are masters in perfect crime and are incredible in keeping tight through the Swiss omerta of the world's greatest crime syndicate. So here you can see the whole article. That was yesterday. Another one gone. So in order to avoid uncontrollable events like on the motorway, they even force certain immigrants to live in bunkers high up in the Alps, miles away from the nearest village, where nobody can see what happens, and where it's much easier to have them disappear with nearby incineration facilities, where no one will smell a thing. So again, this was in the newspaper. When was that? And well, these are the type of Swiss Nazis who, I mean, look at him. He looks very innocent, doesn't he? He looks a bit like Teflon Tony, doesn't he? But they're not innocent. Oh no, oh no. So here you can read the proofs about the Swiss torture detention facilities where it's green. There's talk about the torture of putting people in cells where there's not enough oxygen, being the O2T torture, as in waterboarding. Even worse. So this is how they make people leave Switzerland, and if they don't want, well, they find other ways to do it. By terror and by plainly murdering them. Code O2T is the deprivation of oxygen to a near life-threatening degree, which is the easiest to regulate in order to create slow death lift. So just punch pause if you want to read it. There you go. Just punch pause. This is what they're doing in Switzerland. The home of the Templars, Octagon. Switzerland, Octagon. Their business is death. This is how the Swiss got rid of hundreds of immigrants, by deliberately suiciding them with code O2T in especially developed Swiss torture detention centers. Maybe they even had thousands disappear this way. The Swiss are very secretive about it. They are a people that can keep secrets very well, while smiling to the world and misleading humanity about their real intentions. Khaled Abu Zarifa, Palestinian, murdered by the Swiss authorities through code O2T on March 3rd, 1999. Samson Chukwu, Nigerian, murdered by the Swiss authorities through code O2T on May 1st, 2001. Abdi Daoud, Somalian, March 23, 2008. Murdered by the Swiss authorities through code O2T in a Swiss torture detention center. I went to his funeral in Zurich. Joseph Ndukaku Chakwa, Nigerian. Murdered by the Swiss authorities through code O2T in a Swiss torture detention center on March 17, 2010. Wolfgang Umvogel, Austrian, murdered by the Swiss authorities through code O2T in a Swiss torture detention center on September the 29th, 2010. Wolfgang Umvogel, he wanted to sell or give the US and Germany banking CDs on tax evasion havens and Switzerland, criminal banksters, you see. So the Swiss Secret Service, they snatched him, and in only 2 weeks' time they suicided him through code O2T. They tortured him in the torture detention center of Amtshaus Bern, where the maker of this video got tortured as well, during 5 months, and his hair turned grey in 5 months' time only. He knew that the human organism uses less oxygen if you sleep, so that's what the maker of the vid did. Dead Getchai, Albanian, murdered by the Swiss authorities in a Swiss torture detention center through code O2T on November 19th, 2010. Here with his daughter. His daughter got raped by a Swiss pedophile teacher, so Mr. Getchai went to the police, who told him that foreigners shouldn't go to the Swiss police. Then he got his gun and solved the problem himself by putting some 9mm slugs into the Swiss pedophile. Then he escaped to Albania, and the Swiss pulled all diplomatic strings for over 10 years to get him back, only so the Swiss vendetta could murder him. In order to eradicate all evidence, the Swiss officially kidnapped his daughter, Bezarta, already in 1991, and had Bezarta disappear forever. I went to his funeral, where his son told me that he couldn't breathe, his father, just before he got suicided. Because of 17 years of Swiss Nazi terror, my mind automatically tries to defend me from more of it and entirely blocks out the continents of their terror mail. So I didn't see it at first, but when I showed the video to someone while looking at the screen, it got another dimension. And then I saw it. Above the logo of the Swiss bear of the Swiss authorities, there is a crown over it. That means none other that the aristocracy is ruling, as the Templars who founded Switzerland in 1291 are of aristocratic descent indeed. Switzerland is not a monarchy, and never was. and they constantly brag about their direct democracy and all the privileges they have compared to the rest of the world. So why is there a royal crown on the key positions ruling the country if it was a people's republic? Well, Switzerland is so mixed with the nobility through the prime noctus, or first right, see my other videos about that. The all Swiss have the pharaonic gene, like recently genetically analyzed. Switzerland is in fact that pharaonic breeding ground and the royal nest, where all royals come and study, like in Geneva, a Swiss international school or a Swiss elite boarding school. And by the way, this is Pharaoh's Immaculate Conception, spreading the royal bloodline through the prime noctus and then immaculately liberating the young girl in the morning after a perfectly clean, immaculate bath, washed and tidied her clothes, and an immaculate royal breakfast, thus immaculately returning to her newly wed husband. Just like the entire immaculate, clean and neutral Switzerland with their nobility's crown over the bear, in that unholy, evil alliance of the crown with the bear standing for European. Thus apprehending Pharaoh's disgust, like doing the prime noctus with that European bitch smelling like a bear, before kicking the bear out with an immaculate aura around her and inside her, as if nothing really ever happened at all, just an immaculate return from the castle. Now you can see the two lions, the symbol of the nobility and the pharaonic royal dignity of the pharaohs, with the crown. This is the aristocracy ruling. Right? And here it says 1770. And here you can see Pharaoh's knights of the aristocracy. It's still it's still the same lineage. Nothing has changed. You know, that's why there's a crown overhead. These are the ones, you know, like lying things together to put me in prison, who have terrorized me for 17 years, who make murder threats. They are the knights of the Middle Ages. You know, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's the same pharaonic lineage. And they are not full-blooded pharaohs, these ones here. Otherwise they would be the king. But they have a very large percentage, more than the average people. The crown of Switzerland. Islamic State is not the enemy, but that is the enemy. The Royal Templars of Octagon, Switzerland. Immaculate Switzerland and the Swiss crown rule the world. So it's the high security prison they put me in it. And this is the first time I see it. There's a crown on it. And the bear. So that means the aristocracy is ruling here. And it is in fact an ancient monastery. This here, oh no, a castle, sorry. And that's for, these people will never come out. The Swiss, they'll keep them forever, you know, for experiments and things like this. So the aristocracy, they're quite sly. This way, you know, this is a cell. They can rent it more expensive than the most expensive hotel suite. Well, that was my cell, the second from the top. I'm not even a criminal. I refuse. I'm a political criminal, a political prisoner. Yeah, here they're probably looking at me. So this is the the crown of the aristocracy. I mean, they're ruling. They're ruling over Bern. They're the ones, eh? They've teamed up with the Swiss. The Swiss are the killers for the aristocracy all over Europe. The SS, everything. I mean, look at the symbols. They don't lie. Oh, look. There's a cobra. Oh, they got a lot of money here. What is it? A Ford Cobra, or what is it? Yeah. So this is called the Emmental. They're the worst type of Swiss you can get, really. Here they have been having children slaves, even their own children, until 1989. And they're the ones who still living in the caves here. Swiss cave dwellers. The crown of the bear. The beast had 7 crowns and 10 heads. Like in the Revelations of John. Well, that's here. That's what John saw. So I'm walking here with Gabriel, the Spanish guy. It's quite narrow. Yeah, and Switzerland has 7 heads of state who divide 10 ministries among themselves. The crown of Bern, of the beast. And here they put a lot of innocent people, just for political reasons. So the Swiss extreme rightist party, the SVP Nazi party, they can just say, well, all the criminals, all the foreigners, the immigrants are criminals, and that looks like an octagon. There's the old castle. There's the crown. Looks like a Swiss Nazi hiding place. The home of evil, where they rule the world, the crown of Bern. The bear. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, eh? They hide everything here.
Hello, I'm here with Sean, Gatzefrat in Switzerland. I'm visiting him and I'm telling him my story. I listened to his story on YouTube, and we're exchanging our knowledge and our history. Wie zijn we ervaring?
Experience.
Our experience. And I'm very positively surprised by his friendly personality, and we talked very much, and maybe I can confirm some many of his points and views. It's a reality in Switzerland that male persons are discriminated because of the sex, and children are indeed hostages for financial purposes, and I made this same experience. My ex-partner was preferred in every way by the institutions and lawyers and also the judges in Switzerland. Well, no, that's not funny because it's a poor story, but of course we have to survive these difficult situations. There are a lot of persons which preferred not to live anymore, or just had a psychedelic psychological damage, and I know a few of them, and but it's much easier to work with it if you know good people like Sean, and I hope we can start some. I hope we can start some projects or cooperation together. I would like to help in administrative work and where I'm able to help.
So your ancestry is Spanish?
Yes.
Your father
correct.
and mother?
Both, yes.
And this makes it too that you're being terrorized by the Swiss authorities?
Yes, that's correct.
I know what you mean, yeah?
Yeah.
So they want to take your child away?
Yes.
He's 4 years old, eh?
Yes, but I have to say it's not...
And they send you to a psychiatrist?
Exactly.
You have no problems at all, psychological, but they just send you there so they can terrorize you?
Exactly.
The Swiss, they say to all foreigners, immigrants, well, they're crazy, and we Swiss, we are the best, and we are the super, you know, the immigrants are like subhumans, yeah.
Exactly.
And they want to take your car away. He's got a nice car, he worked for it, and they just want to steal his car, and they say, well, you owe us money, or, you know, it's a nice car with 160 horsepower. He worked for it. It's his car. They're just trying to steal it.
Yes. That's.
Yeah. So you want to ask people to contact you? Can you give your phone number and email address? Oh, I'll put it in the link so
yes, I have
so we get organized.
YouTube channel also, but I didn't use it that much because I'm very busy with the processes, the juridical processes, Gerichtsprozesse. And well, yeah, if I don't react, they take everything they can get. So
Yeah, it's just terror.
Yes.
So
because
the police already came?
They know, they put me knowingly in this situation where I'm defenseless, and I have no money to pay any lawyer, even knowing that no lawyer is allowed to help people in this situation. This is the lawyer lobby, which has a huge influence in the politics, because there are a lot of lawyers in politics.
Yes.
So this is a system, a closed system they use to enrich themselves and take money and possessions away from private people, from the private economy to the communist system. I consider it a communist system.
So your name is?
My name is Gabriel Morales. The YouTube channel is with the same name.
Gabriel Morales, yeah.
But there is not much to see, so I don't expect you to.
Yeah. And you live in Switzerland?
I live in Switzerland, in Solothurn.
Yeah. So anybody, even in Switzerland here, who has the same problems, the Swiss terror of the authorities, contact Mr. Morales here, and
Yeah.
we have to be together. Alone would they just crush us.
Yeah, yeah. If
Yeah.
you are Swiss, show that Switzerland is free. Show me this freedom you always talk about. Let's do something.
Mein Name ist Regina Leu, ich bin die Frau von Hross. Wir haben gemeinsam 3 Kinder. Ich arbeite als Krankenschwester und als Naturheilpraktikerin und ich versuche in ein paar Sätze diese Zeit zusammenzufassen, die Zeit von 15 Jahren. Also, seit 15 Jahren. Zu Beginn dieser Zeit machten wir rasch die Erfahrung, dass jemand wie mein Mann ohne Papiere keine Rechte hat. Obschon damals die Behördengemeinde wusste, dass sich schon Hross bei mir aufhaltete, musste ich eine Buße zahlen wegen illegaler Beherbergung. Als mein Mann unsere gemeinsamen Kinder anerkennen wollte, mussten wir eine Vaterschaftsklage machen. Auch heiraten konnten wir nicht ohne Papiere. Da die Liebe nicht ausreicht in den Augen der Gesellschaft, um den Bund der Ehe einzugehen. Er wurde in all den Jahren immer wieder wegen den fehlenden Papieren bestraft, obwohl das kaum zu glauben ist. Niemand wusste, wie er zu einer Aufenthaltsbewilligung kommen könnte, bis wir dann einen Anwalt bezahlt bekamen und er dies nur in knapp 3 Wochen zustande brachte, dass er eine Aufenthaltsbewilligung bekam. Und was war mit all den Jahren zuvor? Die Integration meines Mannes wurde alle mögliche und unmögliche Steine in den Weg gestellt. Anstelle alles daran zu setzen, inwiefern er in dieser Gesellschaft Hilfe braucht für die Integration, wurde mehr Zeit und Geld investiert, dagegen zu arbeiten. Die Zeit vor Jahren, als er für ca. 10 Monate in Haft war, konnte ich klar zusehen, wie es ihm immer schlechter ging. Ich ließ keine Besuchszeit aus, versuchte ihm mit Liebe beizustehen. Mein Mann ist kein Krimineller, das weiß ich. Denn ich wäre nicht all die Jahre zu ihm gestanden, wenn dies der Fall wäre. Die Zeit ließ dennoch seine Spuren, denn er musste viel von seiner Zeit und Energie in die Aufgaben setzen, wo er versucht, den hingeworfenen Steinen auszuweichen. Nach wie vor, nach all den Jahren, musste er seine Energie wiederfinden, legte viel Liebe in den Versuch, uns als Familie gerecht zu werden. Wir machten gemeinsam unsere Gedanken, was unseren Kindern gut tut und was schlecht. Die letzte Welle, meinen Mann etwas anhängen zu können, geschah, als wir in eine Polizeikontrolle kamen. Mein Mann war höflich gegenüber den Beamten, versuchte ein Gespräch mit ihnen zu führen, doch wollte diese dies nicht. Auch die Fragen, die mein Mann ihnen stellte, fanden sie lästig. Auf einmal kippte die Stimmung der Polizisten. Das geschah, als wir gut 20 Minuten im Auto gewartet hatten, mit Kindern wohlgemerkt. Wir waren alle sehr geduldig und warteten in unserem Auto. Als der Polizist wieder aus seinem Auto ausgestiegen ist, kam er zu uns, gab mir die Papiere und wollte die Kamera von meinem Mann ergreifen. Der Polizist wurde handgreiflich, weil er nicht wollte, dass schon dies gefilmt hatte. Über 3 Jahre zog sich nun diese Geschichte hin, bis nun nach allen Suchen der Behörden 20 Tage Haft bestimmt wurde. Sind es dann nur 20 Tage oder nur ein Versuch, daraus mehr zu machen? Dies löst für uns als Familie viel Stress aus. Das Vertrauen zum System wäre hier gefragt, doch bezüglich Schon ist dies auf brüchigem Fundament gebaut. Ich gebe und gab alles für Schon, einfach in Liebe. Aber reicht nun die Liebe aus, um unsere Familie beisammenzuhalten, oder ist der Druck von außen zu groß? Dies nun meine Worte.
Ja, also du kannst bestätigen, dass der Polizist gelogen hat. Du warst ja dabei an diesem Tag.
Ja,
War der aggressiv?
ja
Hand?
er wurde ja handgreiflich.
Ja. Also das war dann am 8. April 2011 um 11:40 Uhr in Burgdorf. Kannst du das bestätigen?
Ja, war ja dabei.
Genau. Ist er einfach so ins Auto gegangen, ohne etwas zu fragen, total aggressiv?
Ja, er wollte ja die Kamera wieder von dir, wollte sie beschlagnahmen.
Ne, das war ja vorher schon. Ist einfach im Auto gegangen, vorher schon. Um irgendwie eine Wasserspritzpistole von den Kindern zu holen, weißt du noch?
Ja.
Wie lange schätzt du, haben sie uns da verhaftet gehabt? Ne? Wir konnten ja nicht weg, ganze Familie verhaftet. Du warst ja hochschwanger. Du musstest im Auto, in einem total heißen Auto ausharren. Wie lange denkst du, das Ganze hat das Ganze gedauert?
Ich habe vorhin gesagt, 20 Minuten.
Nee, du hast gesagt, er war 20 Minuten im Auto. Ich frage dir das Ganze.
Ja, vielleicht beinahe 3/4 Stunde, eine Stunde so.
Ja, das würde ich auch sagen. War es dir deutlich, dass er seine Befehle am Telefon bekommen hat? Hat es einen Persönlichkeitswechsel gegeben vor dem Telefongespräch im Auto im Vergleich zu nachher?
Wie gesagt, es war die Situation der Behörden waren gekippt und war völlig anders.
Also hat er seine
Stimmung.
Befehle bekommen am Telefon?
Kann man daraus ziehen, ja.
Denkst du, das könnte politisch sein, wegen die SVP, die hier an der Macht ist? Oder wieso denkst du, dass er solche derartige Befehle bekommen hat? Ich meine, es ist keine Tatsache, aber es ist interessant.
Ja, also da müssten wir ein wenig weiter ausholen,
Ja,
weil ich jetzt
stimmt.
gar nicht alles besprechen möchte.
Darum geht es nicht.
Genau.
Hast du Angst dafür, dass die unsere ganze Familie kaputt machen? Ich meine, wir sind 15 Jahre zusammen. Bei mir geht der ganze Terror hier 17 Jahre. Hast du Angst dafür? Was sind die Auswirkungen auf den Kinder? Müssen sie den Terror auch miterleben? Ich meine, der Kilian haben sie zweimal mit mir verhaftet, ohne irgendwelchen Grund. Wie siehst du das?
Ich denke schon, sie erleben diese Gesellschaft auf ganz andere Art und Weise als ihre Schulkameraden, die dies alles nicht erlebt haben. Und wir versuchen es auch, du wie ich, versuchen es, diesen, wie du sagst, diesen Terror, diesen Angriff auch von ihnen fernzuhalten, aber dies geschieht natürlich nicht, ist nicht wirklich möglich.
Wie benehme ich mich unter den ganzen Terror? Ich meine...
Habe ich vorhin geschildert, du versuchst immer noch viel Liebe und Verständnis uns als Familie gegenüber.
Also unter diesem unmöglichen Terror bin ich eigentlich noch ruhig und geduldig und...
Ja, weil sonst ging es ja gar nicht.
Okay. Möchtest du auch um Hilfe fragen, dass das mal aufhört? Für deine Familie, für die Kinder? An die internationale Gesellschaft?
Ich denke, die Hoffnung stirbt wirklich zuletzt, wie man so schön sagt. Aber ich setze nicht sehr viel Hoffnung in eine Kamera, in ein Video. Aber ich wäre sehr dankbar, wenn Hilfe kommen könnte.
Es ist ja tragisch, dass man so weit kommen muss, dass man gezwungen ist, um sich da auf dem Internet dazu bereitzustellen und für alle sichtbar. Und,
was das angeht, weißt du ja meine Einstellung und bin ich sehr nüchtern.
Weil einfach das System hier ein Terrorsystem ist und nicht funktioniert. Ne?
Ja.
Willst du sonst noch etwas sagen?
Nein, habe ich zusammengefasst. Ich mag es lieber kurz und bündig.
Hier ist mein jüngerer Sohn, der Rivan. Wie hast du das, du warst ja dabei an diesem Tag, am 8. April 2011 um 11:40 Uhr. War der Polizist aggressiv?
Ja, sehr.
Du saßt ja im Auto, du hast gesehen, wie der hat dich weggeschubst im Auto, um da irgendwie eine Wasserspritzpistole von dir zu holen, oder?
Ja,
Hat er mich rumgeschubst?
mehrmals.
Und wie war ich? Wie habe ich mich verhalten?
Ganz freundlich.
Ja, und hast du dadurch noch Vertrauen in der Polizei und die ganzen Behörden hier?
Kein bisschen.
Das ist ja tragisch. Okay. Also das hier ist Kilian, der ist mein Sohn, der ist 14 Jahre alt. Der war auch dabei an diesem Tag vom 8. April 2011 um 11:40 Uhr mit dieser verlorenen Polizisten, der Erika Kunz und Hans-Rudolf Kühni. Wie hast du das erlebt diesen Tag? Bist du auch verhaftet worden?
Ja, die ganze Familie
Ja.
verhaftet, ja.
Wie lange hast du ungefähr im Auto müssen ausharren? Das war ganz heiß, ne? Mami war schwanger
Ja.
und so.
Circa 40 Minuten.
Mhm. Stimmt, ja.
Ungefähr, ja.
Du hast auch gesehen, wie der Polizist am Telefon war im Auto, ne?
Ja, das stimmt.
Wie lange hat es gedauert, dass er im Auto war?
Zwischen 20 und eine halbe Stunde,
Mhm.
würde ich sagen.
Ja. Wie hat er sich nachher verhalten im Vergleich vorher und nachher, nach dem Telefongespräch?
Er wusste, was er zu tun hatte.
Aber genau, sehr gut. Aber wie ist er geworden? War der normal im Vergleich zu vorher und nachher? Oder war der anders?
Ja, ja, ist ziemlich anders, ja.
Wie denn?
Eben wie ich gesagt habe, er wusste, was er zu tun hatte.
Naja, okay.
Er wusste.
War der Polizist aggressiv?
Extrem.
Ja. Was hat er denn gemacht genau?
Er hat meinem Vater die Kamera aus der Hand geschlagen und gedroht und so weiter.
Mhm. Hat er mich rumgeschubst?
Ja, ziemlich.
Mhm. Wie war ich? Wie war ich ihm gegenüber?
Gar nicht aggressiv, wie man sagt. Gar nicht.
Habe ich Sie gesagt zu ihm?
Ja,
Hand geschüttelt?
ja, alles höflich.
Und hat er dich auch weggeschubst, als du im Auto saßt und ist einfach im Auto gesprungen, hat etwas gesucht, eine Wasserspritzpistole?
Ja, das schon, aber ich ging dann schon aus dem Auto. No.
Ja. Ja. Hast du noch Vertrauen in die Polizei, Schweizer Polizei, nachdem du das hier erlebt hast?
Überhaupt nicht, gar nicht.
Das ist traurig. Also sie haben gelogen. Ne?
Ziemlich.
Das war nicht das erste Mal, also die haben uns noch ein zweites Mal verhaftet. Kannst du da etwas an der Tankstelle, kannst du da etwas drüber sagen?
Ja, sie laufen mit einem Foto von meinem Vater rum. Und ja, sie wollen meinen Ausweis sehen, den Ausweis von meinem Vater auch. Und haben die Rucksäcke durchsucht und so weiter. Ja, alles an Verbrechen, wie ich so sagen kann.
Ja. Weißt du noch, wann das war?
Ich glaube Ende Dezember 2011.
Mhm. 28. kann
Ja.
das sein?
Ja,
Ja.
ich glaube
Und
auch.
gab es irgendwelche Grund, uns zu verhaften? Oder?
Nee, das fällt mir nicht ein, nee.
Mhm.
Gar nichts.
Ja.
Halt um Himmel.
Ja. Wie erlebst du den ganzen Terror oder wie du das schon dein ganzes Leben hier das hier erleben musst? Wie erlebst du das so?
Ja, es war schon zum ersten Mal ein Stress, wenn ich es so sagen kann. Ich kann nicht, mit meinem Vater kann ich nicht raus und so weiter, ja. Das ist ziemlich ein Stress, ja. Stimmt.
Okay, willst du sonst noch etwas sagen?
Nee, da wird mir jetzt nichts anfallen. In kurzer Zeit, ja.
Okay.
Okay.
Die Schweiz ist eine Faschistendiktatur, verknüpft mit der Schweizer Finanzmafia und politisch geführt von extrem rechten Nazi-Parteien im Parlament, wo die Schweizer Nazi-Polizei organisiert und mit Rückendeckung der Schweizer Nazi-Justiz auf Befehl von höher einfach Sachen zusammenlügt, um Ausländer in den Knast zu kriegen, um eben künstlich die Ausländerkriminalstatistiken in die Höhe zu lügen, um im Parlament mehr Gesetze gegen Ausländer, Immigranten, andere Rassen und Andersdenkende zu veranlassen. Und genau das taten am 8. April 2011 zwei korrupte Schweizer Polizisten mit Namen Hans Rudolf Kühni, der Gott sei Dank 2 Monate später erschossen wurde wegen seines gewalttätiges Profil, und Erika Kunz. Diese Kunz und Kühni haben auf Befehl bewusst gelogen, um mich schon Hross wieder das kriminelle Muster für Ausländer anzuhängen. Und meine Frau und Kinder haben alles mit ansehen müssen, wie Kühni mich schlug, rumschubste und anschrie, was man deutlich im Film sehen kann. Ja, hier sieht man ja, wie er seine Hand ausstreckt, ne? Um mich zu schlagen, um die Kamera aus der Hand zu schlagen. Und ja, das wollen die Schweizer, dieses Beweis wollen sie weghaben. Und dafür muss meine ganze Familie leiden. 3,5 Jahre Hausarrest wegen das hier. Es ist doch deutlich, schaut doch zu. Und ohne etwas zurückzutun, habe ich alles mal wieder einstecken müssen, wie weitere Schweizer Angriffe das hier bestätigen. Die korrupte Schweizer Faschistenjustiz versucht mich damit auf Mafia-Art zu erpressen, dass wenn ich die Videobeweise nicht runterhole von YouTube, sie mich dann noch mehr Gefängnisstrafe und Schweizer Terror an mich und meine Familie zukommen lassen werden. Was diese Schweizer Justizverbrecher obendrauf sogar noch schwarz auf weiß in ihren Drohbriefe mir zukommen lassen, was ich hier als Beweis gefilmt habe und dazu lege. Es ist schon eine Schande, dass man sich auf die Transparenz des YouTube zurückgreifen muss und sich als ganze Familie in aller Öffentlichkeit wie an dem Pranger oder wie im Schaufenster präsentieren muss, weil die Schweizer Justiz und dazugehörende Polizei total korrumpiert sind und die Staatsmacht unter politischem Druck zu Instrument des langjährigen Terrors missbraucht wird. Meine Frau ist Krankenschwester und Naturheilpraktikerin und sie hilft ihren Mitmenschen innerhalb und neben ihrer Berufstätigkeit und sie spricht aus Überzeugung hinaus immer die Wahrheit. Und meine Kinder sind aufrecht und dazu erzogen worden, Prinzipien wie Ehrlichkeit und Respekt zu würdigen. Ganz im Gegenteil zu diesen 2 kriminellen Schweizer Lügenpolizisten, Kunz und Kühni und ihre korrupte Vorgesetzten. Als Ausländer in der Schweiz weiß man, dass man vor einem Schweizer Gericht keine Gerechtigkeit widerfahren wird. Schlimmer noch, die werden dich provozieren, erniedrigen und deine Worte verdrehen, um einen noch mehr anhängen zu können. Und eben das habe ich schon mehrmals erlebt von dem Schweizer Gericht. Also wieso überhaupt noch zu einer Schweizer Gerichtsverhandlung gehen, wenn die sich weder an die internationalen Gesetze noch an die eigenen Gesetze halten und die Schweizer Gerichte bloß lügen und betrügen, was das Zeug hält. Und zu den internationalen Gesetzen gehört eben, dass wenn ich einen Film veröffentliche, worin ich übrigens korrekt die Wahrheit über geschichtliche Ereignisse bespreche, dann hat diese korrupte Schweizer Justiz überhaupt keine Gerichtsbarkeit darüber. Weil ich meine Filme unter die Gesetze der Vereinigten Staaten bei YouTube in San Bruno, Kalifornien unter das First Amendment veröffentlicht habe und nicht in der Schweiz. Und dieses per Gesetz unmöglich unter die Jurisdiktion der Schweiz fallen kann, weil ich ja gar nichts in der Schweiz veröffentlicht habe, also gar nichts. Wenn Schweizer ehrlich wären und sich an den internationalen Spielregeln halten würden, dann müssten sie mich vor einem US-Gericht verklagen, da meine Veröffentlichungen stattgefunden haben, real geworden sind und das Prozess der Veröffentlichung zustande gekommen ist. Die Stand der Dinge in der Schweiz ist derartig entartet, dass du dich hier schlagen, anschreien, terrorisieren und erniedrigen und rumschubsen machen lassen musst von korrupten, aggressiven Schweizer Polizisten, die Sachen zusammenlügen und dass du darauf lieber nichts mehr darüber sagen darfst oder dich auf irgendwelche Art äußern darüber, weil es sonst noch mehr Gefängnisstrafe gibt in der Schweizer Faschistendiktatur. Und kurz darauf schickten sie mich oben darauf noch eine Antiterroreinheit, um mich auf Mafia-Art einzuschüchtern. 3 Pistolen auf meinem Kopf, überall bewaffnete, maskierte Typen, Handschellen, Fußschellen, ein Band über meine Augen wie in einer CIA-Entführung, Morddrohungen, Schreier und so weiter. Und warum? Erstens, weil ich ein unerwünschter Ausländer bin, ohne Geld. Zweitens, wegen meiner historischen Dokumentars auf YouTube. Und drittens, weil ich die Schweizer Gesetze des Schweigens verbrochen habe und in der österreichischen Kronenzeitung bewiesen habe, wie der Wolfgang Umvogel in einem Schweizer Foltergefängnis in nur 2 Wochen Zeit geselbstmordet wurde. So wie Uwe Barschel, auch in der Schweiz, ne? Und auch wegen Politikfinanzen. Da ist dann die traurige Geschichte des Mordes an Uwe Barschel in 2 Wochen Zeit in ein Schweizer Gefängnis. Und darüber darf man in der Schweiz nicht reden, weil dann wird es sehr gefährlich. Und hier steht auch da mein Name hier. Und dass der mit O2T Folter ist der Österreicher umgebracht worden, wegen Steuerdaten, wegen Steuerhinterziehung in der Schweiz. Und genauso wie Uwe Barschel und viele anderen, sobald es um große Finanzen geht hier in der Schweiz, dann geht es nicht lange mehr, ne? Mit Kabel erhängt. So ein lebenslustiger Mann hier. Und ja, dann drücken Sie halt schnell Pause, dann können Sie es lesen. Und das hier ist der Art von Folter, der in Schweizer Gefängnissen praktiziert wird, vor allem auch Ausländer. Die Liste des Gestorbenen ist sehr lang. Und dieses Gefängnis ist irgendwann geöffnet worden wegen die deutsche RAF in den 80er Jahren. Schön alles versteckt, so wie die Schweizer das gern machen. Und da noch einige Beweise in der Zeitung. Darüber, wie hier Menschen zu Tode gefoltert werden. Und da, wie es grün ist, da steht auch drin, dass keine Sauerstoff vorhanden. Und das ist natürlich, das hat der Schweizer natürlich gern, ne? Das ist versteckt. So wie Uwe Barschel, niemand wird rausfinden, wie es gelaufen ist, hinter den Kulissen, unter dem Teppich. Totale Schweizer Art, ne? Hier auch. Am späten Nachmittag erinnert das Klima im 2. Stock an ein Treibhaus. Und dazu sind die meisten Inhaftierten sind unschuldig. Die sitzen da drin, total basiert auf Schweizer Lügen der Schweizer Justiz. Ich finde im Vergleich die französische Polizei als sehr korrekt, respektvoll und menschlich, die vor allem von der französischen Justiz und Politik kontrolliert werden, im totalen Gegensatz im Vergleich zu der Schweizer Lügenpolizei. Ich habe seit 17 Jahren unter totalem Schweizer Faschistenterror leben müssen, wo sie mich als Ausländerkrimineller abgestempelt haben, was ich keineswegs bin. Ich habe kein Einkommen, kein Arbeitserlaubnis gehabt, nie sozial bekommen, lebe unter dem Existenzminimum und wenn ich krank bin, muss ich 3 Tage trampen nach Frankreich, um mich behandeln zu lassen. Er hätte gern als Historiker auf einer Universität arbeiten wollen, aber weil die Schweizer alles daran getan haben, meine Integration zu verunmöglichen, ist es leider dazu nicht gekommen. Stattdessen muss ich hier den Behördenterror hinhalten. Und hier kann man in der Zeitung lesen, wie mehr als 10.000 Asylanten verschwunden sind. Und höchstwahrscheinlich sind die eingeäschert worden, so wie in Auschwitz, was auch eine Schweizer Idee war. Und in dieser Film sind auch alle Beweise, wie die Schweizer auf alle Führungspositionen Auschwitz kontrolliert, die Verantwortung darüber hatten und alles finanziert haben. Es waren keine Deutschen mal, es waren alle Schweizer. Das ist die Schweiz, eine organisierte Verbrecherbande mit einem Land. Und ich sage euch Schweizer und Schweizerinnen, dass meine Filme bleiben werden, trotz eurer Zensurmaßnahmen, Zensurerpressungen und weitere bekannte mafiose Methoden. Und irgendwann werden meine Filme millionenfach angeschaut werden und wird die Welt dadurch erfahren, was für Großverbrecher ihr Schweizer und Schweizerinnen in Wirklichkeit seid, hinter eurer Neutralitätsschwindelfassade. Und hier in diesem Film auf Englisch habe ich nochmal festgelegt und bestätigt in meiner Aussage, dass ich niemals jemand angreifen oder verletzen würde und nie mich selber umbringen würde und keine Depression habe, falls sie das trotzdem machen werden, da die Behörden. Und übrigens, weil so viele Ausländer in Schweizer Gefängnissen und Folteranstalten umkommen, verschwinden, sowie 10.000 Asylanten oder geselbstmordet werden, so wie Wolfgang Umvogel und viele anderen, möchte ich, Hross, nochmals bestätigen, dass ich mich niemals umbringen würde, keine Depressionen habe, noch sonst psychische Beistand brauche, keine Medikamente nehme und niemand anders auf irgendeine Art verletzen werde. Mein Glauben und Instrumente, die ich mir bediene, sind Geduld, Transparenz, Ehrlichkeit und eine eiserne Disziplin, ganz im Gegensatz zum allgemeinen und weit verbreiteten Schweizer Betrug mit all ihren total entartenden Facetten, was sich nur mit einem Parasiten vergleichen lässt. Da, hier sind die offizielle Papier der Behörden. Das waren die zwei Polizisten, die uns da belagert haben, Sachen zusammengelogen. Da Erika Kunz, die lebt noch. Und dann der hier, der hat seine Strafe bekommen, der ist tot. Gott sei Dank, der kann keine Menschen mehr, der kann nicht mehr lügen und keine Menschen mehr Leid zubringen. Es war ein höchst korrupter, aggressiver Polizist. Auf Befehl haben sie einfach Sachen zusammengelogen, um mich im Knast zu kriegen, wegen meiner YouTube-Filme. Das sind da die Lügen da. Das ist vom Kühni. Höchst aggressiver Polizist. Darum ist er auch tot. Der junge Mann hatte Angst bekommen und hat ihn erschossen. Man wird geschlagen von der Polizei hier und die lügen Sachen zusammen, um dich in den Knast zu kriegen, auf Befehl, das sein Befehl im Auto bekommen. Und wenn man dann noch seinen Mund darüber aufmacht und sagt, hey, das geht ja nicht, das stimmt nicht. Naja, dann kommst du nochmal vor dem Gericht hier, wo ich nicht gegangen bin, weil ich anerkenne da das Schweizer Nazi-Gericht nicht mehr. Ja, dann gehst du in den Knast, wenn du noch dich als Ausländer die Frechheit hast, um dich deinen Mund darüber aufzumachen oder so, ne? Unglaublich. Also da muss alles hinnehmen, Mund zuhalten, wie in einer Diktatur. Ja, das habe ich noch darüber geschrieben, einige Sachen, ja, wie es wirklich ging. Und meine Frau und Kinder waren dabei, die haben ja alles gesehen. Das ist alles gelogen. Das ist alles Politik und hier regiert ja die Schweizer Nazi-Partei. Und dabei, wenn ich einen Film veröffentliche, dann habe ich das unter die amerikanische, ich veröffentliche das in Amerika, da hat die Schweizer Justiz absolut keine Befugnheit darüber. Ich habe es unter die Gesetze Amerikas veröffentlicht und nichts Illegales gesagt. Ja, das heißt Knast, ne? Vollzugsverfügung, nur wegen YouTube-Filme. Wenn man sagt, der Polizist hat mich geschlagen, hat gelogen, dann gehst du in den Knast hier. Das darfst du nicht sagen in der Schweiz, muss alles zulassen hier. Ja, und das ist das Foltergefängnis, wo sich auch Wolfgang Umvogel, der wegen den Bankdaten der Österreicher, die haben sie da ermordet. Und ganz viele Ausländer da ermordet. Und mich haben sie auch da gefoltert, mal. Ein Sauerstoffentzug. Und jetzt stecken sie mich wieder da drin. Ja. Die Schweizer SVP-Nazi-Partei, ja, die brauchen einfach ausländische Verbrecher, die keine Verbrecher sind. Um die Kriminalstatistiken künstlich zu erhöhen und nachher gehen sie zum Bundeshaus, in der Regierung und sagen, ja, die Ausländer, die sind so schlimm und so kriminell und so. Und ja, wir brauchen mehr Gefängnisse, mehr Polizei, wir müssen all die Ausländer ausschaffen und so. Da arbeiten sie denn da an die Schweizer. Ne? Es ist ein Faschistenstaat, der aber auch den Zweiten Weltkrieg finanziert. Der Himmler war ein ethnischer Schweizer, der Mengele ein ethnischer Schweizer, alles Allemannen an der Schweizer Grenze geboren, das waren keine Deutsche. Der Obergruppenführer, Reichsminister Leonardo Conti war ein Schweizer, man nannte ihn auch der Schweizer Sadist. Und Ernst Rüden, Hitlers Mastermind, war ein Schweizer. Und auch Karl Jäger von den Einsatzgruppen, alle Schweizer. Der Hitler wurde auch in der Schweiz finanziert von General Ulrich Welle, der mit der Schweizer Aristokratie von Bismarck rein geheiratet war. Will ja nichts, gehst du hier im Knast. Und was fällt auf hier? Also wenn ich hier das Logo schaue, ne, das Berner Wappen, was macht dann die Krone da? Ja, regiert hier trotzdem der Adel, also obwohl die Schweizer sagen, ja, wir haben ja direkte Demokratie. Was macht dann eine Krone da, wenn das Volk so genannt regieren sollte? Ja? Naja, das hat Johannes ja gesehen in der Offenbarung. Und das Tier hatte 7 Köpfe und 10 Hörner. Die Schweizer haben 7 Bundesräte oder 7 Präsidenten, die 10 Ministerien unter sich verteilen. Und das ist der Bär, das Biest, was Johannes gesehen hat, der auch den Zweiten Weltkrieg gegen die Deutschen, gegen Deutschland auch, gegen Europa finanziert haben. Und die Templer waren ja Adlige, das waren keine Mönche. Auf jedem Brief steht es hier. Ja, wenn das Volk ja regieren sollte. Und das sind die Behörden, die ja regieren. Warum musst du dann eine Krone da drauf? Wacht doch auf. Das ist die alte Weltordnung, die noch immer jetzt die neue wird, das feudale System der Adlige, die noch immer jetzt regieren in der neuen Weltordnung. Da hat sich wesentlich nichts für verändert. Und das ist dann der Schweizer Anwalt, der nichts macht. Ja. ist alles wie eine Entenschießen. Ich gehe auch nicht mal da dahin, das bringt sowieso nichts. Da, wegen meine YouTube-Filme. Gehst in den Knast. Musste hier schlagen lassen, terrorisieren lassen, aber dann nochmal hier. Die Schweiz ist eine Diktatur, gehüllt in feine Milchschokolade. Und immer Geld und Gold, das wollen die Schweizer. Die klauen Geld über die ganze Welt und wollen noch mehr Geld. Ich habe kein Geld. Die haben mich nicht mal eine Arbeitsbewilligung gegeben hier. Wieso soll ich Geld haben? Also da, Montag, 10. November 2014, 9 Uhr, regional, Folter, Gefängnis in Bern. Ja, gehst in den Knast wegen YouTube-Filmen. Ich habe nichts geschimpft, ich habe geschichtliche Fakten zusammengebracht und ich habe gesagt, dass es nicht gut ist, aber was der Polizist macht, dass er gelogen hat. Oder ich bezahle 1300 Schweizer Franken, die ich nicht habe. Und um es einfach zu machen, macht der Schweizer Mafia noch einen Einzahlungsschein dabei.